from like 80 campuses around the country. The trip is free for students. The cost of it, I would think, is about $1,500 to $2,000. I don't know if that includes airfare or not. But it is free. Every student, they have a $250 deposit. That is through Hillel. They get the deposit back when they return. That deposit is to ensure that they'll get on the plane, and saves their seat, and that they do participate in everything that goes on with the trip. I always hope that students want to go back to Israel, that this whets their appetite, that the first time there, they're so enamored with Israel. They love Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, the Golan Heights, Beersheba, the Dead Sea, Masada. Something, even just one thing, just captures them, and they have to go back. And they want to go back and study a little more. I hope that students realize how precious it is to be Jewish, how special it is to be Jewish, that they want to continue with their Jewish life, however they may choose to portray that Jewish life, but to realize that they are Jewish, that being Jewish is special, and that they want to continue with that, and that Israel is a part of them. The first time I went last year on the mission, it was my first trip, it was the students' first trip. We were doing a lot of firsts together, and I came back going, oh, it was Israel. I go to Spain, whatever. It was the same. I felt a connection that was very small. I went again this summer with program directors all over the country. There were 30 of us. We went. And again, I was with a group of my peers. And I think that made a difference because I was with people my own age who do what I do. And I felt so much closer, to Jerusalem, to Tel Aviv, just going places. I'd already been there, so I knew what to expect. And I could, instead of seeing it for the first time and going, wow, I could enjoy it more as a person who's been before. Like when you read a book the first time, you only get so much out of it. When you read it a second time, the nuances that you missed the first time, you get to see. You read it over and over again, you know it by heart. I think Israel's the same way. You go the first time, you're so enamored because it's great and it's a new thing. You go back again and you get to delve a little deeper. And so with this third trip, I get to experience it with my students through their eyes, the first time going. And for me, I'm not such an old hat at it. I've only done it twice before. I've only been there twice. But at the same time, I know there are certain places that I'm going to want to go and delve a little deeper into.
One thing that's majorly different is that the last 2 years, the Hillel students have been part of the UJA mission. This year's the first time that this trip is being shaped entirely by Hillel, and so that's one significant difference in terms of the style and the emphasis that will be different. Obviously, another difference is that we're bringing 3,000 people from all over the country, compared to 800. Over the last few years. So the numbers are humongous, and the logistics obviously going to be very complex. And I think in another way, this ties into what I've already said. It's really a historic mission in terms of the breadth and the goals of the founders and the funders of the trip, and the goals of really trying to make it a profound impact on the lives of your students in terms of their feeling and connection to Israel and their Jewish identity. I hope the students are going to, while they're there, fall in love with the land of Israel, with the state of Israel, with the whole experience of the modern Jewish state and the ancient Jewish homeland. I hope that students will be awed and inspired by all the ancient things that we see, as well as by the vibrancy of the modern state and the people, and that they'll come back with this deep, passionate love for Israel. And I also hope that the experience will trigger in them and spark in all the students a heightened appreciation for their Jewish identity, and a feeling for their Jewish identity, and a sense of wanting to explore that more and to grow more Jewishly, become more involved, more interested in learning more, in expressing their Judaism more, and celebrating their Judaism in a different way, and to become more connected in whatever ways are meaningful to them to their Jewish roots. I love it. Yes, I've had the good fortune and the privilege of living there for 3 years in Jerusalem, which was just such a wonderful 3 years, and I've been back many times since. It's always very exciting for me personally to go back, and always, what can I say? It's inspiring, it's moving, it's meaningful, it's a very powerful experience. I lived mostly, among Americans and Israeli Jews during my time there. The state was founded with an understanding that people live there together peacefully, Jewish and non-Jewish, even though it's the Jewish homeland. And so, for Arabs who live in Israel, who choose to live there and live, in accordance with the laws and peacefully, that's fine. And it seems like that's the case for most of the, Israeli Arabs who live in Israel. 2 years ago, I went with the UJA mission, but it was the first year of the Israel Birthright, in which students were able to go through the Birthright mission for $500 instead of the $1,500, with 20 students going together with a staff person. So that was somewhat unique 2 years ago, and so I staffed that trip, and Becca staffed a trip similar to that.